Hello everyone, welcome to General Hospital Daily Channel. Please hit the subscribe button and give this episode a thumbs up. Willow records Brennan, and the alliance is about to explode. Let us start with what Willow just did, because this is the kind of move that looks clever in the moment and is catastrophically self-destructive in every direction that matters. Willow provoked Brennan. Deliberately. She maneuvered a conversation with the WSB chief in a direction where he would say something specific and incriminating, specifically the information about using his institutional position to erase traffic camera footage and keep her out of legal jeopardy during her trial. She recorded it on her phone, without him knowing. That recording now exists. Here is what Willow is planning to do with it. She is going to use it as blackmail against Brennan. Not to protect herself from any immediate threat, to extract something she wants. She wants dirt on Michael. Something she can use against him in the custody battle. Something that changes the balance of power between them the same way the affidavits about the shooting changed it against her. The logic is visible. Michael has evidence that controls Willow. Willow wants evidence that controls Michael. And Brennan, who is a WSB chief with access to the kinds of institutional intelligence gathering that produces exactly the kind of compromising information Willow is looking for, is the most obvious source. But the logic has a catastrophic flaw. Brennan has been doing things for Willow all summer. He erased the camera footage. He provided the Drew dirt. He has been Nina's person in a way that extended to covering for Nina's daughter, because Nina asked. Every favor Brennan has done has cost him something: his institutional integrity, his professional ethics, the specific moral authority of his position. He has been doing those things because he cares about Nina. Using what he said to blackmail him into doing more is not leveraging an asset. It is burning down the bridge you have been crossing. It is taking the person who has put himself at risk for you and pointing a weapon at him in the same motion. Nina is going to find out. The spoilers are specific about this. Nina is going to unleash her wrath when she learns about the recording. And Nina's fury here is not simply the fury of someone who disagrees with a tactical choice. It is the fury of someone who has genuine feelings for Brennan, who has been watching him warn her about exactly this kind of Willow behavior, and who is now watching her daughter do to Brennan exactly what Brennan told her Willow would eventually do to everyone around her. This is the beginning of the crack, not the final break. The summer has been building this relationship between Nina and Willow for too long, and with too much real feeling on Nina's side for it to simply shatter in a single confrontation. But the first visible fracture, the first moment where Nina sees clearly that Brennan was right, that enabling has limits, that unconditional love for a daughter does not mean absorbing everything that daughter does without reaction. And here is the piece that makes this most devastating. If Willow's recording scheme and Willow's broader behavior contribute to what happens to Brennan in the fall, if the chain of events around his exit is connected to the pressures Willow has been generating, Nina's relationship to what happened to him is going to be colored by what she knows about her daughter's choices. That is not something Nina is going to be able to compartmentalize. If Brennan dies and Nina knows that Willow recorded him, blackmailed him, created the conditions that made him vulnerable, that knowledge is going to live in Nina forever in the specific way that things you cannot unknow live in people. Brennan warned her. He told her specifically and repeatedly. Nina is about to discover what it feels like to have been warned about something and not acted on the warning until the consequences were already in motion. Jocelyn uses Jax as her excuse, and Liesl issues the most important warning. Now let us talk about Tuesday and the conversation that Jocelyn is having with Hudson, because the reversal she is about to present is one of those classic Port Charles moments where a character finds the most convenient possible framing for a decision that was really made for entirely different reasons. Jocelyn has been refusing to take the CEO position at her father's company all summer. She does not want it. The WSB is her world. Running a multinational corporation is the exact opposite of what she signed on for when she joined the Bureau. Hudson's repeated attempts to change her mind have been met with equally repeated rejections. And now she is telling him that failing her father is not an option. Something changed. And the change is probably not that she suddenly became deeply invested in the fiduciary responsibility of a company she did not know she was inheriting until Hudson arrived to tell her about it. The change is almost certainly connected to Brennan's investigation of the company. The growing sense within the WSB that something is wrong with what is happening there, the possibility that Jocelyn's presence inside the company as CEO is an intelligence operation rather than just a career change. But she is not going to tell Hudson that. She's going to give him the story that is most convenient and most emotionally resonant and most likely to end the argument. Her father gave her the company. Letting it fail would be failing him. That is the version of her reversal that she is presenting to Hudson, and Hudson, whatever his real agenda is, cannot easily argue against a daughter's loyalty to a father's wishes. The genius of using her father as the framing is that it is not completely false. She does care about not letting the company spiral into nothing. She does have real feelings about what the company represents. She is just also choosing not to mention that her boss at the WSB appears to have a mission that requires her to be inside that company in a leadership role. Liesl issuing her warning to Britt is the scene in Tuesday's episode that matters most for the longer trajectory of Britt's story. Liesl has been digging for information about Cassius, the son she was told was dead, the son whose survival or non-survival she has never been given clean confirmation of. And Britt, who accepted Anna's offer of help finding Cassius information, has apparently told Liesl something about that arrangement. You cannot under any circumstances put yourself in their debt. Liesl does not offer warnings without specific knowledge. She has been around Port Charles long enough, has been on the losing end of enough powerful people's bad bargains, to understand exactly what it looks like when someone is trading away their safety for information. Anna offering to help Britt find Cassius intel sounds like generosity. Liesl knows what it looks like from the other side of the offer, where the person who gave you something valuable comes back and asks for something in return, and the ask is bigger than the thing they gave you, and you're already too deep in the relationship to easily refuse. What Anna offered Britt, the private meetings, the in-person handoffs of information, the no written record arrangement, are not the structure of something that is simply friendly. They are the structure of something that needs to stay hidden. And whatever Anna's conscious intention when she made the offer, Peter's influence on what that meeting eventually produces makes the arrangement genuinely dangerous.
Liesl is right.
Completely, devastatingly right. Britt should not be in anyone's debt right now, and particularly not in the debt of someone whose judgment is being compromised by a hallucination that has been pushing her toward violence all summer. The question is whether Britt hears this warning the way she needs to hear it, as a real and specific and urgent signal to pull back, or whether she dismisses it the way Willow dismissed Brennan's warnings about enabling and the way Nina dismissed Brennan's warnings about Willow. Port Charles this week is full of people being warned about things that are going to happen exactly as the warning described. Jason tells Carly something true, and Lucas sees something possible. And finally, let us look at the other pieces of Tuesday that are completing the picture of where Port Charles is this week and what the fall is assembling. Jason explaining to Carly why Jocelyn has something that Anna never had is the kind of line that does double work simultaneously. On the surface, he is reassuring Carly about Jocelyn's safety and future, pointing out that unlike Anna, who has been navigating her current crisis in a state of increasing isolation from the people who could help her, Jocelyn has a mother and a family who are paying attention and who are committed to keeping her grounded. That is true. Carly's involvement in Jocelyn's life, even the over-involved, boundary crossing, hiding information from her daughter version of it, is a form of protective presence that matters. Jocelyn, knowing that her mother is watching, is worried, is engaged, is the kind of accountability structure that Anna has not had around her as her mental health has deteriorated. The parallel between Jocelyn's situation and Anna's is not accidental. Anna is a professional intelligence operative who has been isolated enough in her current crisis that the people who could intervene have not fully understood what they were seeing until the preparations were already advanced. Jocelyn is a young agent whose mother has been loudly and consistently present in ways that are sometimes counterproductive and sometimes exactly what is needed. Jason is making the case that Carly's loudness, Carly's persistence, Carly's refusal to simply step back and let Jocelyn navigate her choices without input, these are not simply Carly being overbearing. They are the specific form of the thing that Anna has been missing, the family anchor. The person who keeps you tethered to something outside the organization and its demands. Thank you for watching. For a daily update, don't forget to subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon.